All right, everyone. So welcome and thank you for attending today's technical assistance webinar. This webinar is presented by Amity Foundation, acting as the third-party administrator for LA County's Justice, Care, and Opportunities Department and the CFCI Care Grants. The CFCI, or Care First Community Investment Grants, are the result of ballot measure J, voted in by LA County residents in 2020. Care First Community Investment Funds are intended to be invested directly into communities and alternatives to incarceration that address negative outcomes caused by racially driven criminal legal system inequalities and long-term economic disinvestment. Today's webinar is being recorded. You do not have to be on camera. However, understand that if you are on camera, your image may be captured in the recording. Staying on the webinar represents your consent to being recorded. And there we go. So my name is Mina Cabrion, and I am the Training and Technical Assistance Coordinator for Amity Third Party Administrator. At Amity, we incorporate teachings that center the community before we begin our work. Today, we will use the LA County Land Acknowledgement to recognize the price paid by individuals that has resulted in efforts such as Care First Community Investments. We recognize that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tonva, Tataviam, Serrano, Quiche, and Chumash peoples. We honor and pay respect to their elders and descendants. We acknowledge that settler colonization resulted in the genocide of the First Peoples. This acknowledgement demonstrates our responsibility and commitment to truth, healing, and reconciliation, and to elevating the stories, culture, and community of the original inhabitants of Los Angeles County. So today we are going to be talking about empowering communication strategies for handling grievances effectively. So why effective communication is essential in grievance handling? It's really important that transparent and clear communication is always done within your organization as it helps build trust and confidence between employers and employees. When there is a mutual trust between workers and management, it is easier to believe in the fairness and integrity of grievance procedures because employees will feel supported and listened to. So has anyone in the webinar ever conducted a grievance, submitted a grievance, anything? If you want to post it in the chat, how did you like it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think it just did not work? Give us your opinion on grievances while we go through this presentation. So let's go to the next slide. So, understanding grievances. So, what is a grievance in the workplace? So, workplace grievances are any real or perceived problem an employee experiences during employment. This can include the perception of discrimination, harassment, or unfair treatment. Employees who feel they've been mistreated may lodge a complaint with their employers, hoping to correct the situation. In some cases, a grievance procedure may also be used to resolve disputes between employees and management. While grievances often result in workplace disruption, they also offer a chance for employees to voice concerns. But if an employee feels that their grievance isn't being resolved within the organization, they may choose to file a formal complaint. By understanding the normal grievance process, employers can take steps to cut the risk of unwanted outcomes. Depending on the structure of your organization, an employee may submit a grievance to the company's human resources department, and they may try to provide an unbiased angle when investigating a complaint. If your company doesn't have an HR department, the employee may speak with their manager or another company leader. So the last thing you want is for an employee to file a lawsuit. So, what is the difference between a grievance and a complaint? A grievance is a more official version of a complaint. An employee venting about a situation to a coworker is complaining. Generally, a grievance is used when an employee has tried to resolve an issue informally but has been unsuccessful. A grievance typically incorporates a specific process that both the employee and employer must follow. So while a grievance is generally seen as more serious than a normal complaint, both can have negative consequences. So common causes of grievances are discrimination or harassment, so offensive comments, jokes, unfair treatment, or denial of opportunities, unwanted sexual advances or physical contact, employment contracts or offer letter violations, unpaid compensation or denial of benefits, breaches of confidentiality agreements, failure to provide the agreed upon number of paid days off, unsafe working conditions, inadequate safety equipment or training, exposure to toxic substances, and unsanitary facilities. Unequal treatment, so unequal pay for equal work, denied promotions or opportunities, inconsistent application of policies, retaliation for reporting misconduct or participating in investigations, denial of leave or accommodations. So if your time off for a serious health condition or to care for a family member is denied, modifications to your work schedule or duties due to a disability, leave for military service or religious observances, bullying or abusive behavior, so verbal abuse or humiliation, sabotage of your work or reputation, unpaid wages or benefits, unpaid overtime, withheld commissions or bonuses, and again, denied vacation pay or sick leave. So, the hidden impact of unresolved grievance issues can really affect workplace culture. The dismissal of grievances without attempting to resolve the underlying issues that lead to the grievance being raised is not only an ineffective process, it is also likely to be harmful to the employment relationship. When employees feel that their complaints are dismissed without being resolved, several adverse consequences may arise, such as lower morale, decreased productivity, lower employee engagement, and high employee turnover. So, key principles of empowering communication. So, effective communication skills are essential for successful social interactions in everyday life. By developing and enhancing these skills, individuals can express themselves clearly, understand others, and build meaningful connections. Prioritizing the development of everyday communication skills can lead to improved relationships, academic and professional success, and overall well-being. So the key components of effective communication skills include active listening, clear and concise speech, using appropriate tone and volume, asking questions, understanding and interpreting nonverbal cues, conveying emotions nonverbally, building connection and trust through eye contact, enhancing message clarity through gestures and postures, promoting balanced conversations through turn taking, understanding others' feelings and viewpoints through empathy and perspective taking, managing and communicating emotions effectively, and resolving interpersonal issues through problem solving and conflict resolution. So, the empowerment approach. So we always want to empower our employees. So we always encourage leadership managers to have an open door policy. It is really one of the best employee empowerment techniques in a workplace. Open door policy refers to open communication and transparency that allows them to be in touch with the senior management team, with their leadership, with their boards, to get their grievances addressed. Nothing undermines a team more than unclear policy or guidelines. If your team doesn't know what the company policy is or what the best practices are, they're going to struggle with complaints or, worse yet, give out inaccurate information. Make sure that your team knows that it's okay to say, I don't know, but be sure that they follow that up with, let me find that out for you, and ensure that your team is on the same page as you and that they are equipped with knowledge. This will help to empower them to handle complaints in a way that won't cause further problems in the future. Empower your team to handle complaints independently through training, clear guidelines, a culture of empowerment, decision-making authority, feedback mechanisms, continuous learning, access to resources, check-ins, and definitely just fostering confidence and support for your team enhances their ability to address complaints effectively without constant management intervention. Encourage a proactive mindset and anticipating concerns and providing ongoing coaching to refine any type of complaint resolution skills. Training really is the foundation that execution is built on. It gives our employees confidence and it empowers them to provide solutions that satisfy everyone. Training can definitely create an optimal and effective environment that eliminates escalation bottlenecks. So feel empowered to equip your team with comprehensive training that encompasses both technical skills and soft skills relevant to complaints resolution. And definitely foster an environment where team members feel comfortable providing feedback on existing processes and sharing their experiences. This can definitely create a continuous learning culture, allowing for the identification of improvement areas and the implementation of best practices learned from resolving various complaints. So, effective communication techniques. So these statements are empathy statements that can be an essential part in providing great customer service to your teams. They show that you care about them and eventually help build you trust. So such as, I understand how this situation could be frustrating, restating the issue to ensure clarity, so reframing things, ask open-ended questions, so encourage more detail. Can you explain further? Nonverbal cues, showing attentiveness through eye contact, nodding, and validating their concerns. Acknowledge feelings without judgment. Using empathy statements is one of the most effective ways to improve customer satisfaction and build brand value. Empathizing with customers by understanding their problems and clarifying the situation can ensure the customer feels heard and valued. At the same time, it is critical to choose and use appropriate and good empathy statements that de-escalate rather than escalate a situation. So, let's talk about a structured grievance process. So it's really important that, again, everyone on your team knows your procedure. Um, your procedure can be as long as this one, which is 7 steps. It could be shorter to 3 steps. It really depends on your organization. However, a grievance procedure provides employees with a formal route to communicate and file a complaint with their organization about one or more aspects of their employment. Common employee grievances typically concern workplace conflict and relationships, work conditions, management, supervision, compensation, benefits, work-life balance. A clear grievance procedure helps to maintain a positive and productive work environment. It definitely can give employees a channel to express their issues formally and helps identify problems in the organization. For employees and employers, a grievance indicates that there is a problem. If the company doesn't resolve the concern, the employee can usually use the documentation in legal action if they want to pursue that route. A human resources department plays multiple roles in the grievance procedure. Beyond designing an effective process, human resources can conduct an investigation or assist managers in their investigations. They also support those who are raising the grievance and the subjects of the grievance and provide advice on the outcomes of the complaints. So, some steps in a procedure. So, acknowledge receipt of the grievance, respond promptly and professionally, investigate thoroughly, gather all relevant facts and perspectives, facilitate dialogue, so engage all parties in a respectful conversation, seek solutions collaboratively, so focus on win-win outcomes, and follow up. Ensure that there's resolution and commitment to prevent reoccurrence. And then offer mediation. For interpersonal conflicts, mediation can definitely be a way to resolve disputes and mend relationships. Collaboratively, mediation involves a neutral third party facilitating a conversation between conflicting parties to reach a mutual acceptable resolution. This approach promotes communication, understanding, and long-term harmony within the team. A mediator can be called in um, at any point within the grievance, for example, in cases of alleged discrimination or harassment where emotions run high and impartiality is crucial, a mediator can provide a neutral perspective. Another scenario might involve disputes over pay, where both parties have strong conflicting viewpoints. A mediator works with both the employee and the business to reach a fair conclusion. And in some cases, the company may have no formal conclusion before meeting with the mediator. In this case, both sides can present their cases to the mediator, and the mediator helps them find a solution. In the case of contracts, the mediator often represents the mediator often can represent the employee in a formal grievance procedure. And best practices for handling employee grievances. Again, so acknowledge that a grievance was done. The first step in handling a grievance is to formally acknowledge it. This means taking the grievance seriously and responding in a timely manner. Set up a time frame of when your organization would respond to something, whether that's 24 or 48 hours, and it should always be via email, via something that has a paper trail. For instance, again, sending an email to the staff member summarizing the complaint and outlining the next steps that can help ensure transparency and show that the issue is being addressed. This can set the tone for the investigation and reassures the employee that their concerns are being taken seriously. So gather and document facts. Again, it's all about that paper trail. So a thorough examination is essential for resolving grievances effectively. This involves listening to all the parties involved and documenting their accounts. Gathering comprehensive information helps in understanding the situation fully and prevents premature conclusions. Proper documentation is also crucial for protecting the organization and demonstrating that the complaint was handled appropriately. Set clear expectations. Managing expectations is a key component of the grievance process. Clearly communicating to anyone on your team the timeline and steps involved in resolving the issue. For example, if additional interviews are required, let them know how long this might take and when they can expect an update. Regular communication helps maintain trust and keeps the employee informed, reducing anxiety about the process. This can be a very anxious-filled process for an employee. Follow up and resolution. So after an investigation is done, ensure that all parties understand the resolution. It's important to clarify that the outcome may not always align with what the complainant hoped for, but the goal is to improve the working conditions. Following up afterwards always shows commitment to the employee's well-being and helps in maintaining a positive work environment. So periodic training and reminders, as we stated before, training is crucial. Regular training for everyone involved on how to handle grievances is essential. Incorporate reminders about the best practices in meetings and training sessions, as this can help maintain consistency in handling grievances and ensures that managers and the overall team are equipped to handle situations appropriately. When you start drawing up your company's version of an employee grievance policy, make sure that it includes all the information everyone involved needs to manage grievances as they arrive. So again, including the definition of the word grievance. Not everyone knows what it means, so the policy should start with a clear definition of what constitutes a grievance. The procedure for filing a grievance, so specifying the steps that an employee needs to take when filing a grievance, including what form to use, who to contact, what evidence to disclose to enclose, confidentiality. So expressing your commitment as an organization to strict confidentiality throughout the grievance process in order to protect the privacy of all the parties involved. The investigation process. In your policy, walk the team through the company's process for evaluating and responding to a grievance and explain who will be involved. Resolution and decision making. Provide information about the kind of resolutions people can expect and how decisions will be made as a result of the investigation. Appeals process. So, is there an appeals process? Outline how employees can appeal a decision if they are not happy with the outcome of their grievance and what the appeal procedure entails. A non-retaliation policy. So establishing a non-retaliation policy to ensure employees that they can raise grievances without fear of reprisal or adverse treatments. Documentation to ensure transparency and accountability. Keep detailed records of all your grievances, investigations, findings, resolutions. Again, the paper trail is extremely important. Timeliness. Set and adhere to clear timelines for each step of a grievance process for prompt issue resolution. And clear communication. So communicate the grievance policy to everyone within your organization and make it easily accessible. For instance, you can put it in an employee handbook or on your company intranet. So here is one grievance example form. You'll see that it has all the employee information, the date, time, and place of the event leading to a grievance, and their signature, as well as who it was received by. Here's another example, similar questions and information, just a different structure. And same with this one. The account of events, any type of violations that they believe went against policies or procedures, guidelines of the organization. And that is it. So if you have any other questions in regards to grievances, please feel free to contact myself, contact your grant advocate. I don't see any questions in the chat, but does anyone have any questions? No, 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 no. Awesome. It doesn't seem like there are any questions. Oh, yes, Nancy, feel free to go off mute.
Hi. So I had
Hi.
a question not related to the grievances,
Okay.
but I am working on uploading the financial report for that quarterly, and I cannot figure out where to upload.
Did you already contact your grant advocate?
I did not.
That would be your first step.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I
no
appreciate it.
problem. Any other questions? No? Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for jumping on. Tomorrow, our office hours, virtually and in person, are going to be canceled due to the luncheon for year three. So anyone from program area 20, what is it, 22 through 46, we will see you tomorrow. Everyone else, have a fabulous week. We will see you next week. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.